Follow The Jenny McCarthy Show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for behind-the-scenes content.
Jenny McCarthy. I love this girl. TV host, mom, wife, author. She's a Jenny of all trades, as they like to say.
Now back to The Jenny McCarthy Show, exclusively on SiriusXM Stars.
You're incredible.
I'd have to agree with that. Feeling overly confident today. Welcome back to The Jenny McCarthy Show. I'm Jenny McCarthy Wahlberg. I'm having actual fun with myself today. I don't know why. David Essel, he was a guest a while back, and I said, you got to come back. I fell in love with him. Author of Positive Thinking Won't Change Your Life, but This Will. I'm going to open up the phone line so you guys can enjoy him as much as me. And if you have a question about anything, feel free to call in, and David can help you out. He's a
94 stars.
There's that beautiful.
That's our number if you want to call
me. I sound so desperate in that. Success coach, inspirational speaker, addiction recovery coach, just the man. You know what I'm saying? David Essel, welcome back.
Hey, Jenny, awesome to be back with you, honey. I've missed you.
I missed you, too. This is exactly why I had you back. I love your energy. I can feel it through the phone. I want to suck it up. Okay, so listen, you have a dysfunctional love scale. What does that entail exactly?
Oh, Jenny, this is such a powerful thing. 20 years ago, I was working with this young lady, and she came in, as a counselor and a coach. She was telling me all these things she wanted out of her love relationship, and she had loved this man more than any other man in the world, and she couldn't understand why they couldn't get along, why every 3 or 4 days he was upset with her. And she kept stating, Jenny, how much I love this man more than any other man in the world. And then as I continued to work over a number of weeks with her, I found out why he was constantly getting upset with her. She was promising things and then never following through. She borrowed a large amount of money and said she was going to start paying it back. And whenever you asked her about it, she'd say, well, next month I'll start. And she was just, never following her word. So when she told me that, I said, well, you really love him? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, if someone truly loved someone, would they break their words and not follow through and not pay back money? And she looked at me and she said, and she looked at me, Jenny, and said, well, David, but you don't understand. I love him more than anything. So when I couldn't get through to her that her relationship was dysfunctional because she was basically, Jenny, following what her mom did to men as she grew up. So it was just normal. The more I worked with her, the more I found out that she was just repeating what mom did, and it felt normal, right?
Yep.
So I created a scale. I said, hey, listen, next time you come in, I'm going to help you out. And I spent some time creating a scale of 1 to 10. And in the 1 to 10 scale, Jenny, from 1 to 4, it is a form of love, but it's dysfunctional love. So if someone was raised in an alcoholic family and saw mom and dad fighting and arguing, well, they said mom and dad loved each other because they stayed together for 30 years. And so they would pick partners to argue with, just like they saw their mom and dad do. So I explained this to her, Jenny, level 1 on the love scale is high dysfunction, emotional abuse, physical abuse, usually addiction is in there. And then we get to 4, where people just break their word constantly. They have great intentions, but they don't ever follow through. And then we go to level 5, which is where you're friends. You love someone, and they're like your best friend. Kind of like what I think you and Donnie have, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's my world.
Yeah. And so, at 5 is where we start to get into healthy love. And then at 6 and 7, of course, it goes up. The very top level, Jenny, is 10. And that's unconditional love. But I caution people, because we're human beings, I say, listen, unconditional love is more common amongst a mom and their child, or a dad and their child, or, and this is going to sound funny, or between dog owners and their dogs.
Yeah, I get it. That makes sense.
It's more common there, unconditional love, than it is between partners. And that's just the truth.
David, let me ask you this. Because I absolutely firm believer that people, you marry into or you attract people based off of what was modeled for you in childhood. Once you have someone recognize their pattern, once they recognize it, is that the key to breaking the pattern?
Well, it's step one, Jenny, but like as I worked with this young lady and I finally, through the scale, she could see that she loved him because I wasn't going to tell her she didn't love this guy, but it was just a highly dysfunctional love. However, now she woke up. She got the awareness. She said, oh, my Lord. But here's the problem. She went back to her circle of friends and to her mom, and they all told her she was fine. So the awareness is only as powerful as your desire to start changing your action in the love relationship. And also, a lot of people that have that kind of dysfunctional love, Jenny, when they look around at their friends and family, they're going to have to probably start bringing healthier people in to help support them in the change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. We have a caller on the line for some help. Hey, Sean, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jenny. It's me, the Kardashian lover.
Woohoo!
No
Sean.
Kardashian talk today, girl. So
Nope.
my question to David is, not really a question. I'm just kind of curious. Like, I got married 10 years ago, and I put on like 150 pounds. He put on 10 pounds. Is there something like I don't know. I've been curious, and I just thought maybe there could be something that could kind of help.
Sean, Sean, 99% of the time when people gain a large amount of weight, it's because they are eating their emotions that they're not expressing. And the whole world, the word emotional eating is very powerful. And so what we have a tendency to do is when we're not truly expressing everything that we're feeling, because we might feel that if we do, we'll be judged, whether it's by a partner, a coworker, a boss, a parent, a family, a friend. So we sort of stuff those things, Sean. And in that, we'll start looking at increasing the amount of sugar, salt, white flour, maybe alcohol.
You're so right. Because sometimes I feel like if I say something, he's going to tear my head right off. So I have been just thinking about that. I have been known to literally grab a bag of chips and just eat a bag of chips and watch TV and cry.
You would be at a number one in the scale right now. Most people, David, would you agree with this, have communication issues, to me, are like the number one issues with couples. They don't know how to communicate to each other.
Oh, gosh, Jenny, you nailed it. And what our caller just said, he's afraid that if he were to express how he feels about certain things, that his partner would be very disappointed, that it wouldn't work. So we become codependent in love, which is, we walk on eggshells. We're afraid of being judged, rejected, or at the worst, we're afraid of being abandoned. So in codependency, we will stuff our emotions. We'll do all kinds of things, either with food or alcohol, or maybe we'll start working longer hours because we're afraid to confront.
We'll sacrifice our own needs and wants for the other person's needs and wants.
Yeah, totally. We lose ourselves in the relationship. And let's go back to the love scale. In the love scale, going from 1 to 4, again, that's the unhealthy part of it, people will drop their healthy habits when they fall in love, quote unquote, fall in love. They'll stop taking care of themselves. They will, if they're really wanting to make sure the relationship lasts a long time, they will stuff their emotions, which is where, the work that we do in counseling and coaching comes into play to help people have a safe place to begin to learn how to express themselves, Jenny.
This is why I think every single person and every couple needs to get into at least one therapy session in their life. Get a toolbox of some tools as to how to communicate. Sean, love you. I hope that helps. I hope you work on that. And you can also get David's book, author of Positive Thinking, Won't Change Your Life, but This Will. I want to continue, David. How can you tell right away if someone is in a dysfunctional relationship?
Well, one of the things Sean said is that here we see the outward signs of gaining weight. So if you're in a dysfunctional relationship, you'll see that you're shying away from being the real you. You're pulling back, and if your partner says, I'd rather not have you spend so much time with your friends, you'll say, okay. If your partner says, you're never going to become a real estate agent, why even go after that? Those are signs of control. They're not support. So that would be a dysfunctional relationship. If someone says, let's put trackers on each other's phones so we know where each other is all the time, that's a red flag of being a dysfunctional relationship unless, Jenny, and this is what I say to my clients, the only time I'm a big fan of tracking when it comes to like our iPhones, et cetera, is if there's been an affair and we need to rebuild trust.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, in that case, I'm 100% for it, and I actually encourage my clients to do it. But, anything where you start to feel that you're being controlled, that someone is taking away your previous life, that's a sign of dysfunction. If you find yourself starting to drink more than you normally do, then that's another sign, Jenny, that you are submerging your true emotions and you're probably in a dysfunctional relationship.
Totally. Numbing. I've been there.
Me too, Jenny.
This is one of my favorite questions that I have to ask, and I know people out there are going, yes. How do friends help their friends realize that they are in a shitty relationship, and is it their job to do so?
Oh, great question. All right, so listen, when your best friend or a good friend of yours is in a crappy relationship and you share with them, hey, listen, I don't know if this is healthy. You should probably get some help. I don't know if you're – and they keep coming back to you. Jenny, you know what I'm going to say next. They keep coming back to you every week with the same crap. You wouldn't believe what he did this week. You wouldn't believe what he yes. Or she did this again. My God. So this is what a friend should do, and this is going to be tough. But as a friend, the best thing you can do is this. Hey, listen, for the last 3 weeks, you keep coming back every week telling me how dysfunctional your boyfriend, husband, wife, girlfriend is. Every week, I'm here to support you. But I'm seeing that you're not changing. So what I'd like to do is offer this. I will be here to listen to you, but I will never respond. I won't give advice. I won't be on your side. I'm not going to tell you you're always right and he's wrong, because there's two sides to every equation. So I will listen. And so we do that and see if you can bite your tongue and listen. If a couple more weeks go by and your friend keeps coming back, then we have to pull the big boundary with a consequence, and that's this. If you really love them and you really know that they're going through hell, then I would recommend this. Listen, unless you go in and start working with a counselor or a coach, this topic is off the table for you and I. I love you so much. I can't help you. You need to be with a professional. And if I keep listening to you, I'm enabling you to stay in this hellacious relationship. So I've done everything I can. Let's talk about the weather. Let's talk about your mom. But we're not talking about your relationship anymore. Jenny, if someone really loves someone else and they've given them 6 weeks to talk about how shitty their partner is, it's time to pull out the big guns and encourage them to get help.
Amen. I mean, I've been going through this with one of my best friends who's been in this kind of relationship for 4 years. And last week, I decided to send her all of a couple of the messages that I sent her 4 years ago, that she's in the exact same spot. The exact same spot. I go, here, I am literally copying, pasting the same message from 4 years ago. I'm done. So I think that's another good tool. Hold on to a message. If it's a repeating a message, then what's the purpose? I want to get to one of our callers who's been waiting, Melody. Melody needs some help. Hey, Melody.
Hi.
Hi, what's your question?
Hi, Melody.
Hi, David. How are you doing? I was in a relationship. I did get out, but I felt very trapped for about 3 or 4 years. We worked together, and he was verbally, emotionally, and mentally abusive. And I'm always the one that helps everybody get out of situations like that. And I was in it, and I couldn't see the forest for the trees. And my daughter lives in France, and she came home and she said, "Mom, you're trapped." And I just didn't know how to get out of there. I'm having a real time. We separated. I sold my house. He had sold one of his. We bought one together, but he put his name on it, didn't put mine. And I kept trying to get it on, and of course we separated, and he's on the title of the house. And he gave me 30 days to get out of our home, which I created a home. So I've been living out of my suitcase. I've got family, but I'm a burden to them. And I'm trying to get myself emotionally back where I was, because I'm usually a bubbly, outgoing, fun-loving person. And I'm 62, and I'm not a bad-looking woman, but I am just drained and exhausted from life.
All right, David, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to help out Melody, so go.
Yeah. Okay, number one, self-care. You know, whatever that means to you, you've got to put time into taking care of yourself. If that means exercise, cleaning up your diet, getting rid of alcohol, nicotine, et cetera, we cannot make good decisions when we're not in a better state of mind, Melody. And a lot of people look at me and go, that's the last thing I want to think about is taking care of myself. And in that overstressed state, we're probably going to continue to make poor choices, number one. Number two, if you have the money to afford an attorney, I would at least go in and get the free consultation of seeing, do you have any rights to that house? Do you have anything in writing? Do you have a text? He said before that you were going to be half owner because you guys have sold individual homes. I would at least go talk to an attorney and get a free consultation. If you don't have the money, well, you may have to find it to protect yourself. Number one, self-care. Number two, legal care.
Great advice. And I got to tell you, when I've been in that position before, Melody, where I've like hit shit rock bottom, by starting just taking care of myself, making choices that benefited me, made me feel better, even if it was food, it started to give me self-love and self-worth. We're out of time, Melody, but don't forget the book is called Positive Thinking Won't Change Your Life, But This Will by David Essel. David, I love you.
Jenny, I love you too.